What's up, Kart Lifers? It's your boy Sammy D here, coming in with a special update in Mario Kart Tour. Um, if you've judged by the title of this video, something along the lines of Mario Kart Tour, Nintendo's got a big problem on their hands right now. We got an issue to resolve in the game, and this is a type of exploit that involves battle mode. We've seen this before. I'm here to just tell y'all what it is in case you haven't heard. You probably have by now. It's caused a lot of drama, honestly, in the community, or at least my little views of certain parts of the community. Discord servers, Reddit, YouTube, etc. This is not the first time this has happened, so I want to give y'all some context about what this exploit is, how it affects scoring, and the bigger picture implications of this, and specifically that Nintendo and Mario Kart Tour must do something to fix this. And there's a lot of ways to go about that. There are a lot of angles on this whole issue. I certainly can't cover every single angle on this issue, so there will inevitably be more comments on this video, with more opinions about this, lots of hot takes. Everyone's going to have a personal opinion about this issue. It's kind of controversial. I am not here to weigh in on my personal opinion, although it's kind of hard to separate. I do have feelings about how objectively we can look at this and say, how can we improve this game? How can Nintendo fix this in a way that benefits all players, levels the playing field? At the same time, understanding that this exploit is going to be taken advantage of while it's here, and this video, if you're looking for me to say who's right and who's wrong, if it's cheating or if it's not cheating, you've come to the wrong place. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to just tell you what's going on and take the personal decisions out of this and look from a macro level, the big picture here, at what needs to be done for the game. So, Shrooming 2, Electric Boogaloo, Shrooming 2, the sequel, right? It's back in a different form, better than ever. Maybe not better than ever, but it is enough to be breaking the game. As you can see I'll pull up a couple things. This is I asked Shadow Legend if I could share this. This is his 99,999 score on Paris Promenade B, the new battle track brought to Mario Kart Tour. If you saw my tour reaction, you knew right off the bat I did not like seeing a battle track in ranked. The question of if battles should even be in ranked cup or all cup in general for standard player is a big part of this issue that we'll talk about here. But you can see right here, breaking the counter of the game. In fact, this 99,999 score did produce an error for Shadow Legend. It says right here where the score did not register. Now, last time we had this game-breaking score stuff happening with the original Shrooming exploit, it was possible to keep the 99,999 score, and they may have patched something since then to make it trigger something and cut off the recording of that score. But just to back up for a second and tell you a little bit of the history of the exploits in battle tracks in Mario Kart Tour. So they brought battles into Mario Kart Tour. They're part of multiplayer, right? You go into the multiplayer settings and you play battles right here. You can play battles, you can play the standard races. Battle tracks also appear in the regular all cups. So you can play them here, or you can go into here and you see them peppered throughout, right? Including in ranked cup. Now, here's the big issue. When you play multiplayer battle, including public races with whoever, worldwide players, or setting up a lobby, aka a friend room. Say you create a private room and it's a room code only, and you can tell up to 7 or whatever friends to join you. The score you get in that multiplayer mode of battle registers as your score in the single player all cup leaderboard. Makes sense in a way, kind of cool in a way. A lot of people go into multiplayer and they, do their multiplayer races like normal tracks just to fill out all the grand stars for the whole tour because you can access them. They rotate through. Anyway, this is how they've set it up so far. And it was, I think we were all a little bit Unsure about the use of battles in All Cup at first, but what really made it prominent how big of an issue this is when we found an exploit for Twilight House. And when I say we, I mean players are going to find exploits in games. And I need to talk about that because that's a big part of this that people need to understand. What happened on Twilight House was the original shrooming, or some people call it shrooming. But in the original shrooming you might have heard about, people can go into a room with friends for Twilight House. All right, this happened several months ago. You get some person, you get actually everyone to go into a corner of the castle there on the far corner of the outside perimeter, and they all have mushrooms behind them. And then the player who's trying to get a score, they just go hump on top of everyone in that corner and get mushroom after mushroom, infinite mushroom bursts. Because as you're trailing someone with a mushroom, you get those points. So that happened. It was a big controversy because, well, a lot of people thought it was just, well, it was game breaking at the time. It maxed out your hit counter, and people who were going for top 10, the reason this matters is because there's players going for top 100, top 10. I actually know a lot of them who were going for top 10 that tour, who all of a sudden, okay, now I have to do this exploit in order to keep up with the other people scoring. Now, I don't care too much about ACR myself. I'm just trying to present that position to you guys so you understand what those players were feeling then. These are players who have spent money. Mario Kart Tour has pay to win track, okay? You don't have to pay to win in Mario Kart Tour, but you can pay to win. And what I mean is pay to have an advantage. You're paying for extra tickets, extra rubies to buy more high-end tickets. So you're getting your loadouts, a lot of players out there, based on, real money they've invested into the game. And that's their right. That's how the game's set up. But then people come in, and all of a sudden you have this exploit that really breaks things. Now, again, no judgment for the people who did it. That's a personal decision. If you're going to be participating in any of these exploits, that's your personal decision. Whether or not I do it is my own personal decision. And I'll talk about that more also. So this was the first big exploit. The problem that happened is Mario Kart Tour fixed the exploit. They patched the mushroom riding that you can get from another player, which is what they should have done. But they patched it in the middle of the tour. So if you're going for top 10 that tour, okay, like say it's a Tuesday and you're like, okay, well, I got to do this exploit now. And then you start working on it, right? And then halfway through the day, before the tour's even over, Mario Kart Tour patches this. So it's actually not creating an even playing field there. What they should have done then is let the exploit run to the end of the tour. That way, okay, people have already gotten the score. Just let everyone else get the score too and just say, okay, mea culpa, our fault. We're going to give everyone compensation rubies afterwards and just make it fair and square. Or remove those scores, but they didn't choose to do that. They didn't remove the high scores. They just let them stay and they cut it off, which was, we all thought, pretty sloppy way to deal with it. Then battles come back around with the SNES battle course, and this is not as much of an exploit. This gets into the gray area of what even is an exploit, because on SNES Battle Course 1, after we realized we could do that shrooming thing with our friends, we got into SNES Battle Course and everyone's like, well, wait a second, we can just boombox with friends. So get everyone in there with coin boxes. And we've thought about doing this before on battles, but now that we have a top shelf boomerang driver on that track that week, I forget who it was, you can go in there and get some boom boxes. We even tried it on stream that day. If you guys were there for the grind, we tried it and messed around with it. I messed around with it a little bit. It takes a lot of coordination. You got to get people into your friend room. You ideally need to go into voice chat on Discord so you guys can talk about, okay, I'm putting out coins, come into the center. I'm doing this. Okay, now someone go do this. And you coordinate and you do it together. And people find this to be fun, playing this with their friends and kind of taking advantage of this exploit. And again, no judgment. People are going to do it. You can't say what other people are going to do or not. That's not your decision. That's not in your control. You can control what you do with these things. And that day, yeah, I tried it around. I messed around with that. But I didn't keep going. I actually didn't even get a good score. I just left it after a couple times. It was fun to experiment with. So that was the second big exploit. Now we have another battle track. And it's, we were like, I remember the day this tour opened, I went on the Discord, I was like, so has anyone found any exploits yet on this battle track? Since, again, you can go into private rooms and create these kind of unnatural scenarios and your score will register. And, on the first day, someone found, I forget who, and forgive me if I'm not crediting every person. I would love to be able to credit every person who found everything along the way. I know different people contributed and spread like wildfire. The first little glitch, which is actually a glitch that we found, is that on the little roundabout where, you're going through that Paris roundabout and you're getting those extra jump boosts as you're going through over and over again, which is great. Those jump boosts are built in, and that's a nice little loop you can do with Coinbox and get jump boosts every time you go through the loop. That's all fine and dandy. But there's one little spot of the jump boost where your cart could get stuck on the jump boost. It's very hard to pull off. I tried it. It's not easy. But your cart gets stuck on that jump boost. And for half of the day last Wednesday, I was like, oh God, this is the big exploit in this tour. People are going to just get stuck on that jump boost, figure out how to do it. And, maybe they can patch that jump boost, or it's like something to do with the invisible walls. It's literally a glitch, okay? But no, that wasn't the end of the story. That wasn't the big exploit. The big exploit that was found is Shrooming 2, which is you go and I think it was Wootmoo player who discovered that with, for some reason, the cat cruiser carts, it's very easy to ride, like any skateboarders out there, I was a former skateboarder, you can kind of rail slide or grind on that curb on this long straightaway here that you see in the thumbnail, and your cart is kind of at this slow moving angle, and you have mushroom cannons, and you deploy those triple mushroom cannons, and it creates a perfect line almost of mushrooms right through the center. So if you have 4, 5, 6 friends all doing that, and you are just running through the center collecting all those mushrooms stay on the track for a very long time. They're not like coins where they just disappear. And perhaps one of the patches for this could be making it so that the mushrooms just disappear very quickly. But what you have is this crazy exploit, and this was found, and people started doing it. Carlos made a big video about it, and just a note on that, is it right or wrong for Carlos to make a big video as the leading content creator for Mario Kart Tour and to show people how to do this exploit? Absolutely not. First of all, even if you think it's wrong that he did that, that doesn't matter. He did it. That's his decision as a creator, okay? He can live with the consequences of his own decisions. That's not your business. But, Carlos, he's the type of YouTuber where it's his role, if you will, to show people what's capable in the game under the normal confines of the game. This is all within the game design. Carlos is not doing any modding, okay? We have creators that we know that do modding, like Mankalore, right? If Mankalore were to be banned for something he was doing modding, he's aware of that risk. If Koopa, Hydra, was used to be concerned about that as a data mining YouTuber, totally understandable. But Carlos is showing what's possible within the confines of the game. And let me take another quick detour here to just talk about the history of exploits in games. Exploits are in every game. They're particularly present in Mario Kart games, the entire history of Mario Kart. I'm not going to go through every game and tell you all of the glitches and exploits players have found. And there's a reason why this game is a little different. But I think back to Wario Stadium, the most famous and iconic shortcut maybe in Mario Kart history, jumping over the wall. You had a great bounce mechanic. We're back before invisible walls in Mario Kart. Oh, those were the glory days, guys. Let me tell you. I wish you had grown up with them if you didn't. But beautiful. No invisible walls. Just bounce against the wall. Get that jump right where you, bam, you hop over the wall. You get that instant half of a lap cut off in Wario Stadium. And then you can even go back over the wall if you have a perfectly timed jump with your good driver and your good momentum. And you get that 6-second lap in Wario Stadium. Was that intended by the game developers? Probably not. They may have intended for you to do that first jump boost in Wario Stadium, but maybe not going back over and getting a 6-second lap. Just like they probably didn't intend in Mario Kart Wii for you to be able to do that Grumble Volcano crazy glitch that people found, where you mushroom over to that random island and you get the lap cut off. Or there's so many examples of this, guys, that I'm sure you can go on YouTube and find all of the broken glitches in the history of the Mario Kart games. So why is this one different? I would argue this is a little bit my own personal take here, is that this is a little different just because of that pay-to-win side of the game. And it when scoring is involved and when people have put money into their loadouts, it just gets a little bit more ethically murky, okay? I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm just acknowledging that it's a little more of a gray area in this kind of a game, since scoring is involved. And moreover, if a game can fix something that is truly like kind of game breaking, shouldn't they do that? I mean, if they had patched some of those glitches in the past Mario Kart games, I don't think anyone would have really complained. Everyone had fun with them, trying them out. And it is fun. I get it. It's fun to exploit these things. I exploited all of those past Mario Kart exploits, right? Whether or not I do this battle exploit, that's up to me. As of now, I'm not planning on doing that. I also got lucky where I don't have anyone in my ranked cup that seems to be doing that. That does make it a little easier for me to decide. But, it's available right now, and people are doing it. And you can't control what people do. You can only control what you do. So I just wanted to mention that about the history of the exploits and why this is kind of standard stuff. Players are going to find stuff you can do. Players are smart. You guys are smart. Everyone who's finding this out, it's very creative. It's very... Nintendo would be lucky to have game testers as creative and ambitious as a lot of you guys who have been finding these exploits. They really should have found them. The question of whether the devs intended this to be there, all due respect, but I do disagree with what Studfit said on the rundown, respectfully, where he said he thinks Nintendo is giving us the green light to do this. I personally do not believe they were aware that this mushroom cannon thing would have been possible, where you take a cat cruiser specifically on the curve and do that. To me, most likely is that the players thought of something that the devs did not think of, right? In fact, I want to just also talk about a tweet that went out. So as we're kind of figuring out the severity of this exploit, and people are starting to do it more and more, and part of it is Carlos spreading the word. And again, to Carlos's credit, he's just trying to say, hey, this exploit is out there. This is totally fair game in the confines of the game as it is right now. They should fix it. And Carlos has specifically said they should fix it. And we've always said this for any of the exploits. But I saw this tweet from Daniel TLI. Shout out to you, man, on Twitter. Just happened upon this. I translated it. And I found this feedback. You can send a support ticket for issues like this, for known issues. This happened in the past. So this user wrote about the exploit to the support team, and their response is pretty interesting. It actually says, we appreciate this, and we see you've noticed players using an exploit to tracks to get high score with the help of their friends. They're acknowledging that they understand what we're saying here. We take these kind of reports very seriously. We'll make sure to pass on your inquiry, etc. And then he says, in order to investigate this further, it'd be helpful if you could provide us with any additional information, the nicknames of the players involved, and other relevant details. Also, a video if you have any. We'll look into this closely. We want to assure you we're always working to improve the overall gaming experience and ensure a fair and balanced playing field for all players. We take all reports of unfair gameplay seriously. So, unfair, that's what Nintendo is calling it. This is all semantics, right? Cheat, unfair, exploit, whatever. Everyone has different meanings of these words. But what they're saying here is that we want to fix this. I think they want to know the nicknames of the players, not so they can punish any players, because players should not be punished for using this exploit. It's there. It's in the confines of the game right now. If anything, they need to fix this some other way. Now, how are they going to do that? This is where it gets really tricky, but there are a couple easy things. And I'm not here to tell you what is the right answer, Nintendo. That's for you all to figure out. Unless you want to pay me to be a consultant and test this for you, I'm happy to do that. But I'll just throw a couple things out for free for you guys to consider. So you can patch this. You could patch it like you patched the original shrooming glitch by making, for example, mushroom cannons. You can only get one at a time, like you get coin boxes. So multiple players can't all have mushroom cannons. You could make the shrooms disappear off the ground pretty quickly. So you're having to go through, and they're having to play whack-a-mole with these items, right? They're having to whack-a-mole the original shrooming thing. They're having to whack-a-mole these mushroom cannons. But what's next? Will players find some other way to exploit battle scoring, right? Are they going to have to play whack-a-mole with dash ring next once we figure out how to do something with dash ring? Maybe there's something we haven't even thought about, right? Something using Yoshi Shell. Yoshi Shell puts out mushrooms. Is there some way to... I mean, I don't know. Players will always find a way, right? Because they're very creative, like I said. So patching the item itself, this seems like a whack-a-mole situation. The bigger thing to me is that scores from battles count in all cup ranking and multiplayer. And ranked cup. This is the issue here. Should there even be scoring in battles? I don't even know if there needs to be scoring in battles. Now that would mean that battles shouldn't be in all cup ranking and ranked in general. And that is my personal opinion. More on that in a second. But the only thing that scoring is really doing in multiplayer over here in global is it's filling up your multiplayer pipe. That's really the only thing it's doing. If they removed scoring altogether from multiplayer, they would have to redo how they do this multiplayer pipe. That's kind of like, it's like one thing leading to another. It's kind of creating a whole can of worms that they're going to have to deal with and open up there. So you can keep the scoring in here so that multiplayer pipes still load up. But what you could do is just not have it link to your all cup score. Like, let's say I go into the multiplayer battle tracks of Paris B, and we only have that one track in battle this tour. They really should be rotating them all through. They should also be having unique music for the battle tracks. There should also be more battle tracks. There's a lot of other issues with battles that we've always talked about. But you could get your score in battle just like this, right? Or maybe they don't let the friend room battle scores link over. Either way, don't let them link over. They could still be in All Cup if Nintendo insists that they're part of All Cup or insists that they're part of Ranked Cup. I still personally think they shouldn't even be in All Cup or Ranked Cup, because even if you remove the scores from multiplayer going in to tie to these records here, where these exploits are possible, even if you remove that, battle grinds are still really uninspiring. I'm going to be going into that battle track regardless with Peach Vacation or Mario Tuxedo, God love them, and just going around and around in circles getting coin boxes. You're not battling. This is really not how battles are supposed to be. Just remove them from Ranked and All Cup. That's my opinion. And I'm also speaking on behalf of some of the ACR players. Again, I don't care that much about ACR. I like going for it sometimes in top 100. I probably won't ever go for top 10. But I have a lot of friends, a lot of my members, a lot of my whale captains. You guys do go for top 10s. These players hate grinding battles in All Cup ranking because this track appears over and over again. And you're having to go either do that coin box fishing over and over again, or in the case of this tour, you're going to now have to be doing that exploit over and over with all coordinating this and going to voice chats and doing this for all the tracks. It's a very unpopular thing, the battle tracks even being an All Cup. So I'd say remove them entirely, Nintendo. This is what we've been asking for a while. If you removed battles from All Cup entirely, then battles would exist only in this multiplayer menu. Now, that kind of seems like, okay, as they introduce this mode, it's supposed to be big, it's supposed to be really fun, a cool new mode to the game, and it's going to be relegated only to this one menu where you're playing globally or with friends. Well, you know what? Add some cool battle challenge cards. Add a couple more battle courses, like I've said. Nintendo, you can save battle mode. You can do this. It's possible, okay? So these are just some things I'm throwing out there. There's probably aspects of this I have left out. I know that anyone can get into a Discord server, get into the voice chat, and run this exploit with their friends, and that's super fun. It's a fun idea that even I've had that, okay, yeah, that could be fun to do with friends. But don't you want the random person, right? Let's say some random 38-year-old woman named Maria, and she gets on the subway in New York, and she remembers playing Mario Kart with her brothers and sisters when she was a kid. She gets on the App Store and says, "Oh, Mario Kart Tour, I'm going to download this game." Shouldn't she have the same chance as all of you guys who are on Discord all day long, and to have a fair and playing field. As Nintendo said, a fair and balanced playing field. Don't we ultimately just want that? I think we all want what's best for this game. And the problem we're having now, several days into this exploit, is on Discord servers and Reddit and YouTube comments or whatever, people are now infighting about this. I hate to see that because, again, you can only control what you do, okay? Different people are going to have different opinions about this. Accept that. Accept that. This is a life tip. You can't change other people's minds just in a Discord chat, okay? If you want to take it to DMs and work it out, fine. There's also rules to the server, and people are breaking those rules. And it's really not how I want to be starting my day or spending my time, guys. Like, we need to zoom out and have a bigger picture here. It's not about what any person chooses to do with this exploit while it's here. It's what Nintendo and Mario Kart needs to do to make the game better overall. Like this video if you agree. Drop a comment down below with your suggestions. Send a support ticket and know that Nintendo could remove this anytime. It could happen before this video even finishes uploading to YouTube. They could cut this off. So if you want to do that exploit, get in there, get on Carlos's Discord server or any of them and find people and do it. I don't judge anyone for doing anything. I'm just worried about myself. And I recommend you guys do the same. And let's strive for a better game for all, okay? And that even playing field. Nintendo, I hope they're going to do their best. I'm always here, Nintendo. You know how to get in touch with me. We're all out here. You can look at all of these videos talking about it. So thanks for listening today. It's another episode of controversial Mario Kart Tour exploits. And hopefully this is the last one for quite a while. And is boomboxing an exploit? Okay, look. Yeah, of course there's ways we're finding to take advantage of the game. Using an item ticket and closing out your thing. That's all well and fine. This is very different. 99,999. And we've got a problem. A big problem. So Nintendo, good luck. And good luck to all you all. And we'll see you in an early Monday edition for The Grind today. Thanks for listening today, guys. Peace.